Good evening and welcome to the NewsHour Agenda. I'm Madhavdas. Viewers, Mani Shankar Aiyar has done it again. For the second time these polls, the former UPA minister and key aide of late former Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi has made a statement on another of India's hostile neighbors. Speaking about China at the launch of a book called Nehru's Final Recruits, Aiyar used the word allegedly while describing China's invasion of India. He said that in 1962, China allegedly invaded India. At the very same sitting, Aiyar was questioned about this remark. At this point, he gave a long-winded justification that was not a retraction, but claimed he shouldn't have said it because it was election season. Take a look at Aiyar's initial remark and his clarification.
In October 1962, the Chinese allegedly invaded India. There are various books which indicate that we could have accepted Zhou Enlai's proposal of April 1960. We could have perhaps avoided war by backing up our forward policy with adequate military strength to be able to open those forward posts. And you will recall that Nehru had said that I had ordered the Indian army to throw out the Chinese from the Tangla Ridge. And there was a kind of riposte that came from the Chinese. So I used the expression alleged, but I shouldn't have done so.
Yes, it is an
I shouldn't have done so because we're in the middle of an election.
What Aiyar is glossing over, unfortunately, is a clear invasion by China, not just along one, but two fronts that were thousands of kilometers apart in Ladakh and in Arunachal Pradesh. Times Now's Pradesh confronted Mani Shankar Aiyar about these remarks. Take a look.
Morning, Mr. Aiyar. How are you?
I'm all right, sir.
I just wanted to ask you, why do you always give a clean chit to Pakistan and China? This is Pranesh from Times Now, sir.
Who?
Pranesh. My name is Pranesh. I'm calling from Times Now. I just wanted to ask you, why do you give a clean chit to Pakistan and China?
BJP has picked up on Aiyar's controversial views, while Congress has distanced itself. Congress's Jairam Ramesh has attempted damage control by citing that Aiyar has apologized, whereas a closer inspection reveals he's actually justified himself. Ramesh has also cited Mani Shankar Aiyar's age as a defense. Here's how the political war played out over Aiyar's remarks.
ये वही मनी शंकर अय्यर हैं जिन्होंने पहले भी कहा था श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी को हटाने के लिए पाकिस्तान को हस्तक्षेप करके मदद करनी चाहिए। अब चीन को सिग्नल दिया जा रहा है कि देखिए, जैसा एमओयू राहुल गांधी ने हस्ताक्षर किए थे चीन के साथ, वैसा ही किया है, अब तो हमारी मदद करो। इधर चीन को सिग्नल, उधर पाकिस्तान को सिग्नल।
See, Mani Shankar Aiyar is not office bearer of Congress. I am a national spokesperson of Congress. Also, I am contested election. So, what he says, ask him, why are you asking from the Congress? Congress has nothing to do with his statement.
कि जब जब कांग्रेस होती है, हमारा देश खंडित भी होता है और टुकड़े टुकड़े भी होता है। घुसपैठियों को बड़ा सुकून सा मिलता है, अनुकूल होता है उनके। और आपने देखा होगा, आप पाकिस्तान ऑक्युपाइड कश्मीर इन्होंने दी है, चाइना की जो जिन जगह चीनी की जगह है बॉर्डर की, वो इन्होंने दी। तो इसलिए जो भी भाषा बोलते हैं वो चाइना को खुश करने के लिए बोलते हैं, पाकिस्तान को खुश करने के लिए बोलते हैं। कोई आतंकवादी मारा जाता है तो पाकिस्तान से ज्यादा इनके पेट में दर्द होता है।
उन्होंने माफी मांग ली और मणिशंकर जी कांग्रेस के न स्पोक्समैन हैं, ना वर्किंग कमेटी के मेंबर हैं, ना सांसद हैं। जब उन्होंने माफी मांग ली तो फिर बात क्या रही?
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
For more on this, let's go right across to our guest. Joining us with us is Shahzad Poonawala, national spokesperson of the BJP. Shashank Sareen is senior fellow of ORF. Kamruzaman Chowdhury is a political analyst who leans towards the Congress party. Tariq Khan is national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. Dr. Nikul Patel is leader of the Congress party. Let me start with you first, Kamruzaman Chowdhury. What do you think or what doubt prompted Mr. Aiyar to say allegedly in reference to the 1962 China war? Is it a first step, as the BJP seems to be suggesting, in denying that such a war took place or that China attacked India? What are we looking at really?
Madhav, it's too rich to expect of the BJP to give lectures to Congress on nationalism. It's the same party which divided Pakistan in two parts when it tried to raise its ugly head against India. So I better believe and advise the BJP to keep shut on issues of national security. My first point. My second point is that I've just participated in a number of debates with you also. We have discussed a number of times the relationship with China, with Pakistan vis-a-vis the terror activities that Pakistan has been exported towards India. And I believe you and your reporters have visited a number of times the Kargil war zone, and you have reported from there. I just challenge the national media, the BJP spokesperson, or the seemingly intellectuals from the BJP ecosystem to show me one journalist reporting from Ladakh. Thousands of square kilometers of Ladakh's territory is inaccessible to India. Can anybody in this panel say with definite direction whether out of the 65 patrolling points in Ladakh, India has no access to 26
No,
points.
we'll come to that.
Now.
We'll come to that.
No, the
For your kind information, Mr. Chaudhary,
Madhav,
this channel, like many other channels, had reporters stationed in Leh when all of this was going on. For your kind information, that's actually something that I can tell you very factually because I was closely associated with that. But nevertheless, we'll come to your questions and concerns regarding Galwan. But I want to, one second, sir, one second, please allow me to conduct this debate. There are certain remarks that have been made by Mani Shankar Aiyar. And also, in fact, let me ask you that even the clarifications that have come in from, Mr. Jairam Ramesh, they themselves are a bit strange because he says that allowances must be made for his age. The INC distances itself from his original phraseology. He has subsequently apologized unreservedly for using the term alleged invasion mistakenly, whereas what Mr. Mani Shankar Aiyar actually says is that I shouldn't have said it because of elections.
No. Basically, the point Congress party has distanced itself. That's the bottom line. Mani Shankar Aiyar's statement can be an isolated statement. He has apologized to the nation for using the word allegedly. The Congress party cannot always be seen in guilt with a statement of a particular leader. And there cannot be generalized or extrapolated to all the thought process of the Congress party. Congress party is definitive in its relationship with its neighbors, how it should be.
These leaders, some of these leaders actually end up not helping the Congress but the BJP. We've seen what the Chaiwala remark did in 2014, but nevertheless, Shahzad Poonawala, the BJP doesn't have a right to talk about national security issues, says Kamruzaman Chowdhury. Please respond to him.
I hope Mr. Kamru will give me the time and space that I accorded to him and he won't interrupt me. Can you get the echo corrected? First of all, let me tell you that this is not an isolated incident and there is no...
He is just asking you to not interrupt. Let's be courteous.
Because I know your habits.
There are others who are also not spoken.
Because I know your habits.
Is just
Kamruzaman Chowdhury, I know your habits. Please correct the audio.
Yeah, we'll fix the audio.
Correct the echo. And please
we'll fix the echo. Yeah.
Lessons out here.
Yeah. First of all, this is not an isolated statement. This statement basically calculated at telling China that if by mistake we would come to power, we will ensure that you get a complete clean chit on your illegal invasion. And that's what they have been doing with Pakistan also. Recently, they gave clean chit to Pakistan on 26/11. Mr. Vadattiwar did that. They gave a clean chit on Poonch. They gave a clean chit on Pulwama. Now, as far as the clarification given by Mani Shankar Aiyar did not apologize. And in fact, he said that only during election time I should not have use this word. And Jairam Ramesh, while giving the clarification from Congress party, made an even more egregious statement where he said that the number of soldiers who were martyred during Galwan were not 20 but 40. Subsequently edited that tweet, but that 40 number is the propaganda of the Chinese mouthpiece. So in fact, the Congress itself officially has now said that we will do this kind of Chinese version propaganda, and they've been doing it for a long time. Isn't it true that Mr. Nehru himself got up and said Aksai Chin is a worthless piece of land? Isn't it true that Mr. Nehru supplied rice to PLA troops when the invasion of Tibet was taking place? Isn't it true that later on, during the Congress regimes, when the invasion or the incursions used to take place, Mr. Salman Khurshid said incursions are like acne. Manmohan Singh said that do not treat this very seriously. In fact, there was a threat given to journalists at that time that if you report about this, FIR will be filed. This is how they used to treat it. And that is why 38,000 square kilometers of land was given up to China, and then they signed the Chinese MOU. And after they signed the MOU with China, not only did they give up territorial sovereignty of India, but they also gave up the financial rights of India, wherein they wanted to enter RCEP. They allowed the trade deficit to balloon. So you can see the surrendering of rights right from our UNSC seat to the other territorial integrity of India that was compromised by the Congress party. And therefore, this is a pattern. This is not an isolated incident. I have just one question. Now, Mr. Kamruzaman Chaudhary just said, he was questioning journalists. He said thousands of square kilometers of land has been taken over in Ladakh. Can Kamruzaman Chaudhary tell me the name of one village specifically which has been taken over by the Chinese? One village in Ladakh taken over by the Chinese. Not idhar-udhar, not petroleum points, etc., based on news reports. One village which has been taken over.
Mr. Chaudhary?
Then more than 30 villages of Arunachal Pradesh have been renamed by Chinese under the watchful eyes of our Vishwaguru.
Name Ladakh, not Arunachal. Ladakh.
Now being in government for so last years. Ladakh. No, tell me one question. You are nobody to ask me a question. Just answer, because we are
No, one second.
We have got a right to ask you
one second. Madhav, 1 second. Time out. 1 second. Madhav.
Yeah, he's asking you a question. He's asking a question in relation to the point you raised of Ladakh. Mr. Chaudhary, please. He's raising a question in relation to what you raised. You spoke about Ladakh. He is asking you a counter question on that. And that's how debates work, in case you didn't realize.
That's what the problem, Madhav, with this intellectuals, I say, from the ecosystem, coming up masquerading as nationalist on national television. I said, out of the 65 patrolling points, 26 patrolling points are inaccessible by the Indian Army. I said a different issue.
Okay.
1,000 square kilometers.
Patrolling points are not there on the inner side. Quick response, Shehzad. Yeah.
No, inaccessible.
Now let me address.
There is a difference between inaccessible and this thing.
Madhav, let me first address.
India has been...
Madhav.
Quick response. Yeah, Shehzad now. Yeah. Shehzad. Others have not yet spoken. Please have limited time. Yeah. Shehzad.
It will just take me 30. Madhav, first of all, he said about 1,000 square kilometers. So obviously that would include hundreds of villages. I asked him just for the name of one village in Ladakh. He could not provide it. He spoke about Arunachal Pradesh. By the way, the village in Arunachal Pradesh was given up in the 1950s. But forget that. He has spoken about these patrolling points. Madhav, can you please ask him? Now, on the basis of his own points, I'm asking him. The patrolling points he's referring to, can he tell me which authority has given this report in black and white, not a news report? I'm saying which authority has given this report. Is it the armed forces or any other authority in black and white that this kind of out of so many 65 patrolling points, 26 have become inaccessible? Which authority has given? Please tell him to tell me.
Shehzad Madhav, let me just sponsor one flight trip to Ladakh and patrol to those patrolling points. I believe Narendra Modi government will not allow us to visit. I am sponsoring it. I am sponsoring it.
One second. Let me come in on this because this point is being stretched too far, Mr. Chaudhary. Which of the bordering states of our country are people allowed to randomly go up there, especially when there may be security forces, there may be issues with our neighbors? You do know that there are inner-line permits, etc., that are required in different states. And I think this is stretching the argument way too far. I want to come back to the issue which is Mani Shankar Aiyar and Nishant Sareen. You would like to explain to Mr. Kamruzaman Chaudhary how the system works. He says no reporter has gone there. I will sponsor a trip. Is it really that simple, sir?
No, if he's just sponsoring a trip, Madhav, it's 50 degrees centigrade where I'm living. I'd love to go to Ladakh in this weather. So if Mr. Chaudhary is sponsoring the trip, I am I volunteer.
Here, you have a volunteer
It's a
now.
different
Yeah.
matter.
Anytime.
So I'm looking forward to it. Sir, कल ticket भेज दीजिएगा. Now, so look, here is the thing. There are correspondents who have gone up to Daulat Beg Oldie, which is right on the front lines. There are other journalists who have traveled in that entire area, but there are areas where you are not allowed, journalists do not travel. They are not allowed access to. Even during the Kargil conflict, for example, most of the reportage was not done from Tiger Hill. The reportage was done from the base camps, right? It was not done from Tiger Hill or point 4827 or whichever point there was. So Mr. Chaudhary is being a little disingenuous. There have been a couple of, not 26, there have been a couple of areas out there where the geography is such that if on the two heights the Chinese have been sitting, which was already under their control, and the Indian patrol parties used to travel towards that, they are blocking those patrol parties. That does not mean that the area which they were accessing earlier has been taken over. But yes, the patrol parties are being obstructed on a couple of areas. That is a fact. That is what has been reported. There is no official report which has come out, but that's what has been reported. But for him to suggest that everything has gone away, nothing has gone away. So I think, again, he's being a little distant. The question, however, is that the debate is all about Mr. Mani Shankar Aiyar and his motor mouth. And I think that is where there is a big problem for the Congress party. I think the BJP must be ruining the fact that Mr. Mani Shankar Aiyar has come out of the closet after so long, just when the last phase of election is left. They would be hoping that he would, be fielded during every phase of election so that there would be more votes they could get.
Okay.
But it's unfortunate for them. But look, the problem has been, and I agree with Shehzad on this, a kind of a culture has been built up in the Congress party that you make these kind of statements and it is acceptable.
Okay.
There is a pattern.
I want Nicole to come in on this. Now, Nicole, why is it that such kind of motor mouth netas get away in the Congress party? It was Pakistan a few days ago, China now. Clearly, the statements of Mr. Mani Shankar Aiyar are embarrassing for the Congress in the middle of election. Nicole.
Firstly, till time, no audio was audible to me and I didn't know what other panel members said. But whatever the question is, Mani Shankar Aiyar, sir, whatever he is describing, definitely the Congress had said that he is no more, senior most guy, and the statement by him may be his own. But over here, definitely it will affect the Congress during the election time. It's still one phase going to happen and almost 50 plus seats are going to be there on voting on 1st of June. This kind of statement must be avoided by people like him because he's the senior most, one of the respectable person.
No, but what about the statement on Pakistan? You think that is acceptable? He said कि उनके पास nuclear bomb है, तो हमको we should ensure that relations are good, otherwise they may get upset. What kind of logic is this, sir?
No, there is no logic behind it. If you see, Congress as a party or Congress as a government had always tried to respond to the neighboring counterparts whenever it has come to an emergency, right from the Independence Day, if it was forming the India as a united state.
Mani Shankar Aiyar's responses are quite away from whatever even the UPA government's position was when Dr. Manmohan Singh was in power, I can tell you that. But let me bring in Tariq Khan on this. Tariq Khan, what does the Samajwadi Party have to say on this? Can you endorse such a position taken by such a senior Congress person with respect to either China or even Pakistan? Please unmute yourself and speak. Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes. What he said, he has already apologized for that. He said, sorry, whatever I have said. Now,
he said कि चुनाव के दौरान नहीं बोलना चाहिए था, sir. That's hardly an apology.
It's all right. It's all right. PM ने हम लोगों को मुजरा करने वाला बोला. He anytime say sorry. हम लोग मुजरा करते हैं. Where we have been doing mujra. He must have sorry for that. Said sorry for that as well. आपने कहा बीजेपी से sorry बोले. यहाँ
पूछ लीजिए. There's no issue at all. Please ask them. Please ask them. Please ask the question of the BJP. They are in front of you.
नहीं, हम लोग मुसलमानों के सामने जाके मुजरा करते हैं. खैर, इसको छोड़ते हैं. Let me say 23 फरवरी 2023. What the foreign minister said that we are a small economy, we cannot fight China. This is what Mr. Shankar has said on 23rd February 2023. This is the stand we have in front of China. Now, We have lots of news, hundreds of news. Just like Subramaniam Swamy said, that more than 4,100 kilometers, 41,000 kilometer, square feet kilometer land has been acquired by China. What he's saying?
What is a square feet kilometer?
Party.
Square feet or kilometers? What are you saying, sir?
What Subramaniam Swamy said, I am just repeating that. He is the ex-MP of Bharatiya Janata Party. He must be thrown out of the party. He is saying wrong. Even he went to Supreme Court for that. Well, he also went to Supreme Court with that.
Well, certainly, it is nobody's case that opposition must not raise questions. However, they should be factual in nature and certainly not questions which actually compromise India's interests. On that note, gentlemen, completely out of time. Shahzad Purawala, Sushant Sareen, Kamruzaman Chaudhary, Tariq Khan, Dr. Nikul Patel. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us this evening. We clearly have not heard the last word yet on this entire controversy.